Things are going well as always. We're about to plug
I
in.
can
Yeah.
do it.
Hmm?
Keep talking. I can do it.
Okay. We're plugging in. We're getting ready for the last broadcast of this week is Thursday night. I usually take Friday off, and we had some really exciting broadcasts today. The Republic broadcast I thought was magnificent. It was there's a man named Paul Rodriguez, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, and he is behind this whole push to bring the Republic to the people. And we just had a brilliant show today, but he reminded me it was absolutely stunning. If you haven't seen it and you like this kind of material, I highly recommend the broadcast. It should be on X. Apparently there were some problems with Rumble. I'm not sure. I have to check it. But at the end of the day, Paul mentioned that it's all about the children. It's Michigan checking in. Hey, Larry. It's all about the children. 8 million kids, children, innocent souls go missing every year. 800,000 in the United States. The whole substance of our reality is run by this criminal organization that has got us into this simulation, into this simulated reality that makes no sense. The Matrix makes no sense. And what is it really? This is the question that everyone, what is it really? Is it Tartaria was destroyed by these Phoenician parasitic 13 bloodline families? Is it that I had a discussion today with Diana on this program that we had with the Republic about Esther and Haman and this whole story that is going down, but we're dealing with parasites of a tremendous order. I guess what I'm doing, I wasn't really sure what I was going to be talking about, but I am going to recap some of the highlights from today's broadcast. I started with John Dowling this morning, and we talked about the coming financial system. We are coming into, okay, this is the big picture, a unity consciousness, a system, a new system of existence where everything will fit together, everything will make sense, and everything will be based on the principles of unity, of humanity working together, of humanitarian projects, of charity, of love, instead of survival. Hey, Rhonda. Rhonda Elkins, nice to see you. We're coming out of this. It's unbelievable as the layers of this criminality are exposed, that we ever believed this nonsense, that we sat in school for year after year listening to this insane fantasy that these 13 bloodline Phoenician families, we don't know. I mean, we were going back to the Garden of Eden story, which for years has fascinated me. It's an unbelievable, it's like the basic story to our existence. if you take it at face value, it makes no sense. If you take it as, was it really God in the Garden of Eden? That probably makes a little sense as well. Although it makes more sense to me that I, I don't know. I'm not going to get off on the Garden of Eden story. Diana was saying that God was giving us free choice. We have to have free will in this existence. That's part of the kind of basic structural ground rules of this simulation, reality, hologram. Not sure where I'm going with all this. I have to confess, I'm not really sure, but I'm just going to recap some of the highlights. So we were talking about the Garden of Eden story, and Diana was saying that it was God giving us a choice. And he said, don't eat from the tree of knowledge. And we ate from the tree of knowledge. And as a result, I mean, there's so many nuances to the story. There's so many ways you can think of this. It could be that he said, don't eat from the tree of knowledge. You don't need to go there. But we ate from the tree of knowledge. And as a result, we had to go through this process of purification before we could eat from the tree of life and have med beds and live forever and live healthy, normal lives. Then I spent some time later in the day. I started with John Dowling, and we talked about this coming structure, the crypto structure that is coming. And let me just remind people again: if you're holding XRP, if you're holding XLM, if you're holding any of the ISO, or if you're holding all of the ISO or some of the ISO 222 coins, do not sell. Do not even think about selling. If you did sell, buy it back. You could buy it back for less than what you sold it for. But this technology is going to be fundamental for reshaping the destiny of humanity from a life of survival. They told us this thing about the whole world is based on survival of the fittest, and that justifies competition in economic circles. It justifies raising the price of gasoline when there's no shortage, just because some creeps can make a nice profit. But what happened here, it seems to me, the kind of the major turn in this narration is that the creepazoid parasites were able to infiltrate every layer of society and pretend, because they had degrees and they had a lot of money and they had charm and they spoke well, that they were okay, that they were the good guys, while they were involved in horrendous crimes against humanity, against children. They were Satanists. They were drinking blood. The president of the United States, these presidents, I'm not talking about President Trump, were drinking blood. They were having sex with children. They were killing children. These were the people that I mean, I lived in New York City when in 2008. I could have lost my job. And I almost did a few times by even criticizing, even bringing up the idea that Obama could be anything but the greatest man that ever lived. I mean, so many times I was so close to, like, I would let my tongue wag a little bit and just make some sort of snide little remark about, this is the Costa Rica?
Yeah.
This is Costa Rican.
Drink it first.
Okay.
So I don't smell.
Wow, whipped cream on coffee, man. Costa Rican coffee from Brian. spiritualbeingcoffee.com.
No, you have to say it right.
It's Finca Amistad, Costa Rica. Finca Amistad from Brian Best. Highly recommended. It's absolutely delicious, organic. He roasts it in small batches.
I have to stir it a little more.
It's perfect.
No, I mean I have to stir the honey.
So we lived in this separate universe, in the universe where it's every man for himself, because there's not enough to go around. Okay, they made all these stories up. There's a great tape here. I want to just play this tape. I don't know. It's AI again. Okay, let me just lay out this general idea that the creepazoids, they infiltrated everything. They stole tremendous millions and billions of dollars. They just stole the money with these NGOs, with these fake organizations that basically did nothing. They'd have an office and they'd pocket the money. And they never thought they'd get caught because the level of complexity to this criminal organization that has been running the world for at least the last 100 years was so complex and so embedded in gatekeepers. In you just I just remember I remember in learning this lesson in ninth grade. In ninth grade, I realized that my biology teacher was a complete fake, that he didn't know anything about biology, not a thing. I mean, I've taught courses that I didn't necessarily, I wasn't, but at least I would sort of admit it. How do you move your crypto to a cold wallet? Do you keep it on the exchange? I can't answer that question. You have to do whatever it feels like. I don't feel comfortable answering that particular question. You can, I mean, maybe you can figure out why I don't, but it's complicated enough for me, and I'm just I am a person of faith. I'm a person of trust, and I personally don't believe that my money is going to go missing from a major crypto exchange. That's just me. I know everyone wants me to put it on cold wallets, and I know Big Bird is all about cold wallets, and I understand his reasoning, and I'm 100% with him. But do I keep it on cold wallets? I don't want to even answer that question. It's hard enough for me to do what I do on with the crypto exchanges, but if that's going to keep you from buying crypto, just forget about it. That would be my advice. Just get your crypto, get some, make sure you own some, because you want to be a part of this thing. But so we're talking about this intricate criminal web that's probably been developed over hundreds of years. The whole idea of saying hundreds of years of not actually knowing what our history is at all, having no idea what happened 200 years ago, 300 years ago, what happened in the Garden of Eden. None of it makes any sense to me. But the thing is that this criminal organization that has stolen our lives, our energy, our faith, our hope, our everything that makes a human being great has been stolen from us by these creeps. They've woven this intricate web, but now AI, which is kind of like the enemy, because what they're trying to do with this sort of mark of the beast with the vaccine holocaust is make everyone into a non-human being, into having nanoparticles rule their lives. but the thing is that AI can now go into this cyberspace and put all the pieces together and trace who's paying who, where these, and follow all these communication platforms, and really get and unweave this tremendous poisonous spider web of criminal behavior, that the AI can hunt them down like a bunch of relentless hound dogs treeing a raccoon. I mean, it is relentless, and they never figured on this, which doesn't make sense because, in a sense, they are part of this AI nightmare. So you have, yeah, I mean, I personally separate the world into the evil cabal that, like, okay, so on Norman show, AI is created following the money, right? AI is relentless and has tracked these people down. The election fraud, the economic fraud, the child trafficking, all of this is being completely exposed by AI. Elon and his boys, I mean, the theft, the fake accounts, all of this is now being traced down. They can't get away. That is an awesome cup of coffee. Costa Rican, Amistad, vegan Amistad from Brian. Brian always comes up with great names. But these creeps have woven their way. They've completely the banking system. So, here's the good news, right? AI can track them down, and we are moving into a system where everything is on the blockchain. They can't pull this stupidity where they take your money, like the Swift system, which is anything but Swift. They can't just take your money, invest it, trade it, use it, and then give it back to you and charge you interest a few days later. They can't get away with that stuff anymore because XRP and XLM and the whole crypto environment has been designed to work in seconds, not to use a lot of energy like Bitcoin does. So between the AI and this digital revolution, the blockchain revolution, we are moving into a system where goodness will prevail, where you will not be able. I mean, this is one of the characteristics of Jassara Nasara. All fraud must be eliminated in order to institute Jassara Nasara. So that means all fraud. Has all fraud been eliminated? It doesn't seem like it to me. A lot of it seems to be making the news, at least on X. But until all fraud, all child trafficking, all the underground bases are exposed, we are not in a situation to simply move into 5-dimensional reality. What is the difference between 3rd-dimensional reality and 5th-dimensional reality? Fifth-dimensional reality does not have all the hard edges. It doesn't have all the sequences that are buried within the structure of time. Okay, so it could be that the three of us live in a kind of a up here in a kind of a fifth dimensional reality. We're not bound by time, we're bound by purpose, which is what, in my opinion, will connect the new system. Will be a sense of purpose, a sense of faith, a sense of goodness, a sense of charity, a sense of quite simply put, when Hillel the elder was asked, could you explain Torah while standing on one foot? He said, don't do to others what you wouldn't want them doing to you. The rest is commentary. We will be living a world where we will be living like tzaddikim, like holy people. An example I gave to James and Daniela today. I said, when I cook something for my people up here, we cook together. I have a certain amount in the bowl, and I have to divide it up into for the three of us. My body keeps track of which of the bowls gets the most food. My body is into this. My body is like, that's my bowl, man. Let's put just a little bit more in my bowl. So I told Danielle and James, what do? I let my body do what it wants to do. And then I switch the bowls. So like the body says, okay, I just need just a little more meat, maybe a little bit piece of fat for me. No, it's not a big deal. It's just like I need a little. And then at the end, after the body's done doing this, the soul says, okay, just, give that one to Danielle, give this one to. This is according to James. I'm just quoting James. This is fifth dimensional thinking. In other words, you're not thinking, well, I as if I have what I need, then I can give you a little extra. There's a saying in Pirkei Avos in Yiddishkeit, and I hope I can get this right, but that an evil man says, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. A person, like a middle kind of person, is what's yours is yours, and what's mine is mine. But a holy man says, what's mine is yours, and what's yours is yours. That it's the fifth dimensional thinking doesn't think in terms of me and you. It's just, we are a community of three people up here, and if James doesn't eat, I can't eat. I mean, it's we are in this together. We all work together. We don't watch each other work. We don't tell each other, you go. We do sometimes if we have the opportunity where we can do different jobs at the same times. You don't need a bank to control your finances. That's exactly right. That's really what I'm saying. We don't need these torture chambers. We don't need these people that don't care about us. In fact, they don't care about us to such a degree that they're willing to do everything they can in their power to poison and kill us, either through medicine or food or water or air. They want to kill you and take your children and sacrifice your children. This is the world that we've come into. So when you look at a person, like when people of our community look at what we call normies, we're like, they haven't figured it out yet. But think about what they're dealing with. They can't really, the gas price is too high. You can't really afford it. You can't go anywhere. The inflation is out of control. You're not getting paid enough. You're just trying to survive. And you're being told at the same time by your school teacher, it's all about survival of the fittest. So it's all okay. It makes sense. Okay, I can't, I have to be tougher. So they operate on so many different levels, telling you that it's all about competition and getting ahead, and it's okay because that's the way nature works. Well, it ain't true. It's a total lie. It's a species doesn't evolve because it's more horrific than the other species. There's a flow of goodness. There's a flow of faith. There's a flow of natural benevolence to the system. There's creation that things are created simply because they're beautiful, perhaps. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of I know, and I know I'm sort of I'm looking for like a topic. I'm looking for a place to anchor myself here. But in reality, probably the most authentic thing I could do is admit there's no place to anchor in the old world. There's no part of it that makes any sense. Not the story of the Garden of Eden, not Tartaria, not Devil's Tower. I just saw a picture of the Devil's Tower is obviously an old tree. Antarctica, the financial system, the educational system. We have been misled by in every possible way. Your doctors, your lawyers, I'm not telling you anything new, anything that you don't know. But it seems to me, as a person who, like Norman said, that after he described the war on light, how the big pharmaceutical companies told you that sunlight is dangerous, that incandescent bulbs, which have a much more mild frequency and a total frequency, are not, they're not economical. They've done everything to, that you need to put on these poison skin creams in order to, which are carcinogenic, in order to avoid the harmful rays of sunlight. That sunlight is evil, and we're at war with sunlight, and we're trying to survive. I mean, my mom lived on a sailboat for 5 years, and she has a little bit of skin cancer. Did she slather on yeah, of course. That's what they were told to do. So how do we operate in a world where there is no lack? The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not lack. How do we operate in that world? How do we operate in a world where the world isn't designed so that they can steal our children and nobody will notice it? How do we operate in such a world? Is it going to be hard for us? So we're moving from this parasitic, depopulation driven, illicit, criminal elite class into a world of a natural world where people will get to be the people that they really are. They won't be driven by, well, it's all about survival of the fittest and I have to survive, this kind of nonsense. It'll be driven by, perhaps, by beauty. Like, what can I create? What is a humanitarian project that I can fulfill in order to make sure that people have what they need, can enjoy their life just like I can enjoy my life, and no kids get stolen at the same time. So we're moving into a completely different system where everything will fit together. There will be a unity consciousness, in my opinion, a unity consciousness, a faith consciousness, not driven by dogma or, I really understand that, it's all about, Moses really, he really pegged it, man. And we have to do exactly, it's like, if you think that you know something from a third dimension that somehow makes you more knowledgeable than another human being, then you're certifiable, man. And I've done it. I lived in a community where we felt like, well, the rest of the world don't really know the truth. For 25 years, I was like, okay, man, we got it. We know the truth. We know Moses gave us the rules, and we're the chosen people, and we're following Torah, and we're following these God-given laws, and we got it all, man. They don't. They don't even have a section of it because they think they know something. They're not anchored to a real source. The real source is not driven by like a qualitative or even quantitative sense of reality. Like, this is real, this is not, I am here, you are not. This is the truth. That's obviously not the truth because it's not my truth. That kind of thinking has no place in fifth dimensional reality. Well, you believe in that, and I believe in this, and I mean, you can coexist in that state, but we're coming into a kind of a clear space, like water. It's like water. It will be undefined, and it'll be okay that it's undefined. So I'm looking at the numbers. I don't think I don't know if I'm making any sense. I don't know if I'm even making sense to myself. But I just feel like if I was going through the news stories right now and we were picking through it and we're going, okay, Trump's doing this, and this is happening next week, and the Clarity Act's going to pass, and then or XRP is going to the moon, I'd have thousands of viewers here because everybody wants to know, when is it going to happen, who, where, how is it going to happen, and this stuff, which is a total fabricated fantasy. We've been through this for years. We know there is no like wise man on the hill who's going to tell you exactly how to interpret the Q post, and therefore next Friday 6 o'clock can be dangerous, and everything's going to happen next Friday, and just it that was the thinking that I got through in the meeting with about the Republic, was that we're in a stage like McGillis Esther, where there are not going to be any big miracles. There are not going to be any big clear events, in my opinion. If you're waiting for the markets to crash, if you're waiting for the EBS, if you're waiting for Trump to make the announcement, my fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. If you're waiting for the military to take over your town, if you're waiting for Mandami to be arrested, all these things, this is not the way it's going to go down. And I don't know why I know this. I don't even know how I do what I do. I don't know how I do this night after night, day after day. I have no clue how I can sit here and formulate these ideas. And I know for sure that the majority of the universe does not know what the hell I'm talking about. But on the same on the same hand, I understand that this is not a revolution, it is an evolution. And that at the end of the day, this depends on each and every one of us becoming investors, becoming fully aware and fully able to admit that you just don't have a clue you don't know what's going on. How many people are willing to admit that even to themselves? We do not have a clue in terms of third dimensional reality. However, we are fully aware on the level of faith, on the level of love, on the level of intuition, on the level of trust. Trust the plan. Trust the plan. What choice do we have? Can we? Well, I don't trust the plan anymore. I used to trust the plan, but now I don't. It doesn't matter whether you trust the plan or not. The plan is the plan. I'm not talking about the Q plan. I'm talking about God's plan for this planet. This is a big deal. And it seems to me that we are at the stage whether it happens in 5 years, 10 years, next week, makes no difference and is utterly boring and meaningless and puts me to sleep when people talk about reality in that way of like, well, okay, well, yeah, but Ellie, really, July 4th, come on, man. I mean, it's all going down. I don't. I wouldn't assume that. I think the direction is set, but I don't think that's what winning means. Winning is not about an event that's going to change your bank account. Winning is utterly, completely changing your mindset, or at the very least, being in a state of mind where you're moving towards changing your mindset. That's what this is all about. I believe that's what Terence McKenna is talking about, becoming a new species. And I'm only saying this because not that we live in a higher level up here in the mountains, but we're not subjected to, we're not exposed to, you got to move your car, man. I mean, I'm sorry, but at 5 o'clock, the rules change. I mean, we don't have any of that stuff. I lived with that for 25 years in New York City, more than 30 years in New York City. You got to move your car. If you don't move your car, you're going to get a ticket. You have to pay the ticket or else, it's like, the things that we have is like today, we fired up our new well pump and it didn't work with my new fancy $1,000 generator because it didn't have enough oomph. My old dirty little chug generator fired it right up, and we got 1,000 gallons of water out of our tank in an hour, more than 1,000, but about 1,000 gallons, and then it dried, and then it stopped. That's our reality. We're not worried, we're not worried about whether we're going to get a parking ticket. We're worried about whether or not the truck will make it down the mountain in one piece and we will survive. It's a different, we live in a slightly different dimension than most people are used to. And I'm not saying that everyone should go off grid, but everyone should be aware of what is matrix and what is not. And for me, investing in XRP is not matrix, and it is because it doesn't operate on matrix rules. I've been investing in XRP for a long time. Do I ever think to myself, oh my God, it's $1.20 now, I've got to sell it, it's going down to nothing? I never even have that thought, because I understand, I've understood for years that it has intrinsic value, like life does. So if you believe in life, why would you go to your doctor and let him stick something in your arm that is going to kill you? Or why would you get heavy duty insurance, health insurance, just in case? Well, what just in case? In case you want to die faster? You want to be able to you want to be able to pay so you can die faster, because that's what the doctor is really up and that's what he wants to do. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you not believe in life? Why would you not? It's life is just very simple. Life is basic. We water the trees and the trees do better. We're now fertilizing trees with organic fertilizer, and they're doing much better because James knows how to do that stuff. Where did James come from? Did I did I think to myself, I really need an agricultural? I was laboring under the illusion that I knew how to take care of plants. I don't. Compared to James, I'm a beginner. How did he get here? It's divine. We live in it. We live by divine laws. We live by the well pump broke down, and what are we going to do about it? Not, I'm violating law number 2 and I better get a license. That kind of stuff doesn't exist in our world. It exists. We're hungry. We need something to eat now. What are we going to eat today? That's real to us. So the shift. I guess I'm talking about the same thing all the time. I really had. I'm in particularly unaware of what I'm supposed to be talking about tonight, but it seems to be within the realm of what I have been talking about, which is that we are evolving into a new species. This is coming from Matt Myers, but we're evolving into a new species according to Terence McKenna. What does that mean? What does that look like? And Terence says it means that the world will get weirder and weirder. Is it that the world is really getting stranger and stranger? Not at all. It's that our perception is getting more acute, and we no longer believe in the lies that we believed in 5 minutes ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. We believe that stuff was real. I believe that a plane flew into the Twin Towers and destroyed it. I didn't believe it when I saw it because I didn't know what I was looking at. What is our reality? So our reality is really, at the end of the day, it's faith, it's love, it's caring, it's not wanting children hurt. That's what Paul Rodriguez, he broke down. He was saying, I hope I can help. I hope I can help this plague that this, it's worse than a plague. This is the mechanism of our society. It's designed so that they can steal children and nobody will notice it. Every aspect of our society, from Disney World to Walmart to kindergarten, everything is designed so that they can steal children, torture, kill, ritually kill them, have sex with them, destroy their lives, and we won't even know about it. That's how, because we're so busy trying to go through the survival of the fittest mode and survive the economic difficulties that they've made up for us. This is all an illusion. We're waking up we're waking up from a long sleep. So if I was still in like a third dimensional frame of mind and I was trying to figure out, when is it going to happen? When is the EBS really going to happen? When is the dinar going to go to the moon? All these things, I would probably have tens of thousands of viewers. maybe a lot of them bots, but it's not popular. It's not interesting people to learn about changing your mindset, coming into a fifth dimensional reality where there is no real separation. I don't have to put you down to build myself up. I mean, out here, we have to work together. It's not like, if man, if I could just get a little more burger today, James could take a little less, Daniela doesn't really need so much burger. If I could just get a little bit, it's just not, it's not even a thought up here. It's not, we, and, and what we're hoping is that by us doing this and expressing it through these broadcasts, that everyone will be elevated. And like I said, you don't have to live off grid in the mountains in the middle of nowhere to leave the matrix. It's a mindset. All you have to do is say, you want what? You want me, like, we walked into this Planet Fitness and they wanted the last 6 months worth of dues. We're like, we weren't here for 6 months. We quit 6 months ago, but somebody didn't put it in the computer and therefore it doesn't exist. I mean, that's just like, that's another reality. It's not something that we're able to really, it doesn't compute to us. I just had to say, see you later. I mean, I can't argue with them. I can't just tell them. I mean, I did tell them. I did make it clear to them that you guys are nuts. This is insane. It makes no sense, and you're going to lose a customer. And you don't care. It's just, well, that's the rules. It's just like that. Well, that doesn't make sense. So it's all a mindset, and it's all happening within nature. In my opinion, there's not going to be any big. There could be big miracles. The big miracle will be that everyone wakes up. But that's similar to Megillus Esther. In the story of Megillus Esther, the name of God is never mentioned. There are no overt miracles. There's no splitting of the sea. There's no Moses, slamming a rock and water coming out. None of that. It's all within the bounds of nature. And that is, according to my Rebbe, that is a higher level of spirituality than the splitting of the sea, in that things operate within the bounds of nature and seem natural to us. But the more you progress in the ascension process, the less you have to think about and rationalize and get into the fear space about what you should do next. And the more you're just like, oh yeah, that's oh yeah, I forgot my saw over there, but now I remember it. And so let's do, let's go cut that branch right now. Everything operates in a way of flow, of divine flow, because there's a sense of purpose. And that's what we're coming into. That's the good news, because we're all there. It's just a matter of fine tuning your thought process just a little bit, getting out of the fear space and wandering forward with a sense of, hey man, I know what this is about. This is about doing nice things for people and about destroying this ancient system that has a stranglehold over us, that is stolen the very history. We don't know our history. David Lester Straight said, you cannot find a history book before 1900. They don't exist. I mean, some people do, and you see them on X and you marvel at the fact that they were talking about a dome, about a flat earth 200 years ago. But it's very hard to get a hold of those kinds of manuscripts. We're all trusted the plan because we didn't have one. Yeah. I mean, I think that makes sense. A mind like water. Yeah, that's very good. That's really good. I love that, Jimmy John. A mind like water. That's really what it is. We were pumping water for an hour. We timed it for 60 minutes. Baruch Hashem, thank God, the pump was working, the generator was giving the right kind of energy, and we filled up our big water tank. It's 1,200 gallons of water, and we siphoned off 100 gallons to go feed our plants down in the on the ridge, and we went down. We watered the plants, the trees. A mind like water. Yeah, it's like it has to flow. It can't be living in separation mode. That's what the creeps want. They want you to separate everything. Okay, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. In our world, it all connects. Whether you're working on the water system or working on, like this morning, James and I fixed the water house, the house over the well. We put the roof back. We had to take the roof off so that Angel Norm could pull out the uh, the pump, and we put it back together, and it's even better than it was because we're doing making some changes because now we know we're a little more refined about what this is, and this is something I that this is kind of like what I'm talking about. I personally dug with a pickaxe about 300 feet of earth this deep to put in the water pipe from the well to the storage tank. I personally dug that out of the earth. Now, if I thought about that ahead of time, like let's dig a trench from here to here, it feels like it's probably a quarter of a mile. There's no way I would just be like, I can't do that. Are you kidding me? I need a machine. And there are machines that do that. But I don't think of that. I just think, okay, let's just go the first 10 feet. Let's just see if we can cut 10 feet out of the dirt and put in the pipe. And then a few days later, I have a half hour to kill and I'm digging another 10 feet. And over time, just like this house is sprung out of one post in the ground. I don't, if I thought about building what I've already built, I would freak out. If you came over and said, well, this is what I want you to build, I'd be like, I can't do that. But I did it without thinking about it, without planning about it, without getting afraid about it, without having the materials to do it. And the materials came. So I think we're in a really good place. I like that mind like water. Edlin said, we're all trusted because we didn't have what we don't need a bank to control it. Yeah, we don't need a bank. We don't need a government. We don't need an education department. I mean, this is right out of science fiction book. That your teachers were this right out of like all those books, I think Ayn Rand wrote one called Anthem, but there's any number of books about how the society, what's the one where they're all one color and that some two people escape and they they start seeing in colors. I forget the name of that book, but there are any numbers. The Creepazoids have written these books so that we would know what's going on. We've been indoctrinated. We've been enslaved. We've been MK Ultra'd. And now we're accepting our own flow. And like I said, I don't really care that I would like to feel that there are hundreds of thousands of people and everyone's getting it now. We're all ascending together, but I'll take what I can get. If I can get help one person, including myself, I can help myself and become a little better person, then it's all worthwhile. Whipped cream and coffee with honey. Are you kidding
You have
me?
to finish it all.
I'm finishing.
Because
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yeah, because there's stuff in there.
She puts stuff in my coffee that I have to drink within a half hour. I personally like to. I'm a tantric, so I like to savor my pleasures. I like to draw them out a bit. Okay, so what's the take home from all this is that we're in a really good place, and this old system is being completely hounded out by AI forces. All the illicit fibers that connect each them to each other are being removed, and we are coming into a world where a child will be able to go out and play, and his parents don't have to. Like when I was a boy, we were, I think they're calling us the Jones generation now. We would go out and play, and we would come home sometime, and our parents were okay with that because we were all having fun. We were doing weird shit. We weren't like, we weren't sitting around playing Monopoly. We were out in the woods. We were throwing rocks at each other. We're beating each other up. We were finding out, birds and bee type stuff. And we were kids. We were able to have a real childhood, and it's never stopped. And James and I were saying today, as we were mixing concrete for the platform for the generator in the well house, that as long as we we operate as like little children playing in the sandbox together, well, we're going to have a great life together up here. Time goes by very fast up here. James just said to me, I've been here a week already. It's just, and it seems like he's been here an hour a day. It just, the time, we've been up here almost 2 years, and I don't know where the time just goes real fast. DNA evidence is wiping out crime. Yeah, yeah. Generation X, the trauma hood generation. Yeah. Um, yeah, I used to, when I was like 15 years old, or I think I was like 15 years old or 16 years old, maybe, I would tell my parents I'm going to a concert tonight, and I would take a train into Manhattan and go to the Fillmore East and watch the Allman Brothers and drop acid, and come back home and at 2 in the morning, and it was just, and go to school the next day. It was just like, it was a different world. But anyway, yeah, so we got this, man. So a week has gone by. I know you're getting patient and yeah. A week has gone by. I want to do one more thing, and this is an offer for all of us. We've been enjoying this, um, and I'll get to a song in a minute, but let me just share this offer that
I just want to say Trump's last rally's on the 24th.
Trump's rallies on the
The
24th.
last rally.
The last rallies on the 24th. This is an offer from Dr. Stacy for members of our community. Okay, this is only for our community. If you are a brand partner, and you can become a brand partner, I think it's $25. You can call Dr. Stacy. Let me just put this info up here. You can call Dr. Stacy, but if you buy an X2O machine, you get a $250 rebate from Dr. Stacy. From Dr. Stacy from Thursday today till Sunday, June 7th. So if you were thinking about getting an X2O machine, this would be a great time to give Dr. Stacy a call, or go on my website or Daniela's website and sign up for your very own X2O machine. Every time I drink a glass of water now, I am hydrating myself on the cellular level. I am also infusing 6 frequencies of light into my cells. This is a highly invigorated. I cut down on coffee. I don't drink as much coffee, but I love to drink coffee. But anyway, but this is incredibly energizing on a cellular level. It goes right away into your cell. You feel it. You can feel the water going in. You feel if you're clear headed, you can feel it. You can feel like a buzz. It may not happen right away, but if you have an empty stomach, you will feel a kind of a buzz right away. And this is your body becoming hydrated on a cellular level. So when we drink water, we get this kind of a charge. It's amazing. But if you order before Sunday, you will get, if you buy an X2O machine, you get a $250 rebate from my colleague, Dr. Stacy. All right, so Dr. Stacy is offering this to us, to this community. So I highly recommend you get this water thing. It is life-changing. It purifies the water. It takes out all the toxins except fluorine. If you have fluoride in your water, you need to find another way to get it out. And then it hydrates it. It puts hydrogen molecules in it, and it puts 6 frequencies of photonic of light into your water to hydrate your body at a cellular level. It is a phenomenal product which we have been enjoying. I mean, it's like our prized possession. When we wake up in the morning, I mean, we live off grid. The first thing we do is turn on the machine because it takes 45 minutes for the water to be thoroughly processed. So the first thing we do is turn on the water machine. I wake up, I spend some time, but the first thing I do is really drink some of this X2O water. It's phenomenal. So if you are on the fence, if you're thinking about it, the patches too. The patches are a little less expensive. Also, incredible technology. Today I'm doing X39, X49, and glutathione, which I've had a great day today. I got tired this morning after my first broadcast, but that was because I don't know, because there was a bit of a third dimensional exchange, and my brain cannot process third dimensional, like non-flowing, like well, we have to, like nervous kinds of thinking. Yeah, anyway, so let's see. Law enforcement has been able to track cell phones for a long time. Yeah, absolutely. I love the surveillance systems too. Cameras everywhere, right? The ability to commit necessary crimes. Good morning from the Netherlands. So nice to see you. And DNA wiping out. Yeah. So we're coming into a new world where there will be a kind of a unity consciousness. It will be a world, in my opinion, it's going to be a godly world where everyone will be connected to a sense of their purpose, of their joy, of their reason for being. So anyway, yeah, if you want the X2O machine or any patches, give Dr. Stacy a buzz. She's amazing. And if you want the rebate, order before Sunday. Okay, so with that said, let's go to a slightly different language of the heart. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do one of these songs. If Grandma Linda is here, and I'm doing this. Let's see if this is a full song. Yeah, I'm doing this without the video because I think it's better not to see the. Okay, let's just do this. Let's see. Will it play? No. Okay, let's play it. In the courtyard, I surrender on the street. I surrender my ambitions and the ways of deceit. Sweet surrender, language of the heart. Sweet, sweet surrender, language of the heart. I surrender to our new love on any any path it takes. In the beauty of this moment, there are no mistakes. Sweet surrender, language of the heart. Sweet, sweet surrender, language of the heart. We all need to come together round the language of the heart. We all need to come together round the language of the heart. It's an easy decision, don't you know you're a musician? We all need to sing together round the language of the heart. Love is a river, fear is a stone that I skip across the water on my gentle journey home. Sweet journey home, sweet journey home. Sweet, sweet journey home, sweet journey home. We all need to come together. We all need to come together. We all need to share together round the language of the heart. It's an easy decision, don't you know you're a musician? We all need to be together. We all need to sing together. We all need to dance together round the language of the heart. We all need to feel together. We all need to dream together. We all need to know together the language of the heart. Yes, so thanks so much for joining us for this week, and we appreciate you all, and God bless, and we'll be back Saturday night, God willing, and just have a great time, and take care of yourself, and be good to yourself, and know that you are the one. The whole universe was created just for you, and you're that important. You may not realize it, but the whole structure of reality would be different without your existence. So appreciate yourself and be good to yourself. Use the force. You are the force. And we are collecting. We are like, we're like moths collecting around a light, and we're all every little vibrational frequency that you or I or any of our friends and family get from our shared frequencies will resonate forever. May the source be with you. May you realize that you are the source, and your creation, your particular gift, which may be your weirdness. It may be the thing that makes you the weirdest person that you know, but that's you, and that's the most precious commodity that a person can have. So we'll see you after this weekend, and let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.